Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read a lot of books, mainly library books, and I'm here today for another reading update. And yeah, I have 4 books to talk about, but only 3 that I've actually read. So I'm actually gonna start with the one that I haven't really read. It was on my TBR from my TBR game. A book from a trans mask author, and that is The T in LGBT by Jamie Rains. And the reason I haven't read this is mainly because I feel like I want to read it slowly and read like bits and pieces. So I started reading it, and then I realized I want to own it instead and kind of read it, a little at a time. And then also, this is a UK author, and the resources and whatever that he has put in is UK resources for trans people. And I thought that when I read it, chapter by chapter, or like jumping around in it, I would like to put in the margins my own the Swedish or Scandinavian examples of things, so that it would really be something that I could maybe lend to someone and they wouldn't have to wonder, well, how does this work in Sweden? So I would like to make this like a bit of a more valuable or usable, is that a word? Like book for Swedish readers as well, like my copy of it. This isn't my copy, of course, this is from the library, so this is going back to the library. so yeah, I'm gonna put this on my list of books that I want to own eventually, and when I own it I will read it again, or I will read it. So yeah, that's where I'm at, because this isn't a book like Elliot Page's book, Page Boy, was a book that was like a memoir, and I could read it from cover to cover. And the same with Sorted by Jackson Bird. Those two were books by trans men that, were memoirs. There are memoir bits in it, but it's not. That isn't the purpose of it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with this one. So I read this one, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and it wasn't actually that long ago. I have read so much in the last few days. So this is a book about Elspeth Spindle. She has been infected with a disease that it roams in this world. Like, people can get affected and they get a high fever, and if they survive that, they usually get some kind of magic that they can wield. But that kind of magic and the infected are not legal in this world. In this book, the only magic that is legal is the magic of cards. So there are a set of cards, a deck of cards that have, each card has a different magic you can tap into. So the owner of the card can tap the card 3 times to access the magic, and then tap it again 3 times to turn off the magic. And nothing comes for free, so everyone, whether you're infected with magic or you have a card, eventually you're gonna degenerate. So in this world there are magic wielders, and the longer and the more they use their magic, the more they will degenerate. Some will go crazy, some will become like skin and bones, and horrible things will happen. And Elspeth is one of the infected. And then one night she is out and she meets this highwayman. And from that point she is thrown into a world of the opposite side, you can almost say. Like, she's an infected, and she's thrown into a world of people that hunt the infected, and have another agenda behind it as well. It's very, very complicated. And I'm not going to talk about it more because I don't want to spoil anything. But there is also romance in this, and I liked that it was a slow burn, really slow burn. And I also enjoy because it's like enemies to lovers kind of thing. And I liked that it was a slow burn. I liked that we really understand why they fall for each other. And it's not like they are, you know, some enemies to lovers are they're just lusting for each other, but there's no real love, but it's they say they love each other. But this one is a real slow burn, and it's we get time to get to know each person, and they get time to get to know each other, and I really enjoy that. So I have seen a lot of critique about this book, mainly I think about the verse and the poetry in this book, because there are poetic elements to this book. And I have also seen critique about the use of I can't even Captain of the Destroyers, because that is a title in this book and it's used over and over and over again. And in the beginning I was like, oh, this is the thing that bugs people, and I was kind of bugged by it just because I was supposed to be bugged by it. But then I realized that even though it's repetitious at times, most often, I would say like 85% of the time that it's used, it's because of that the person saying it wants to keep a distance and not get emotionally involved. So she calls him by his title instead of his name, because she's like taking a step back. And I felt that, and I felt the purpose of it. So most of the times that's the case. She wants to kind of emphasize that distance between them, and that's fine by me. So it didn't bother me. Like halfway, almost a third way into the book, I stopped caring. And I did have a hard time getting into the verse of the book and the writing style and that sort of thing, but and you know, the poetry that is that comes up once every chapter. But when I had gotten into it and understand why and what the connection was, that didn't bother me and anymore. So I have recognized the things that other people didn't like, and I have decided that for myself I don't care. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed everything about it. I read this in like 2.5 days, or like 3 days. And if I really want to pick up a book and keep going, if I'm like sitting at a computer working a little bit and then I stop because I have to wait for some process to be made, and I'm like, where's my book? Then that's a good book. So I gave this 5 stars actually, because I can even consider reading it again, depending on I can consider reading it again no matter when I get to read the second part, because it's a duology. But I could even see myself reading the first book before reading the second, if there's time between. So that's how much I enjoyed it, because I'm sure I will understand the other bits and see it from a different perspective when I read it again. And I really enjoy a book that I can see myself getting more out of the next time I read it. So I really enjoyed it. And then we have another 5 star. I'm just gonna say it. This is the 7th book in the Bridgerton series, and this is about Hyacinth, so the youngest daughter of the Bridgerton family. And in this book, there's like an elderly woman in the society that she is friends with. And that elderly woman has a grandson that comes to visit some at times. And he comes into possession of a diary that an elderly relative to him on his other side wrote in Italian. And he's looking for someone to translate this for him, but someone he can trust. So it turns out that Hyacinth can read Italian, because apparently she had a governess when she was a child that was Italian. So she doesn't know it like fluently, but she knows enough to understand the context of the book, and what the grandparent had written in the book. So they work on this together, and at the same time there's all these other things going on in the society. There's of course a season of parties and social events that they need to attend, and so that is kind of the love story that builds in this book. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot, because I really enjoyed Hyacinth. And in all of the other books, we have seen snippets of her being this or almost unruly child that says what she thinks, that never lets anyone get away with anything, and she really loves gossip. And it's not that she loves to gossip, it's that she loves to know what's happening. So I don't get a sense in this book that she is one that, talks about other people that much, but she likes to know what's going on with other people. So if someone asks, she's like, oh yeah, I've heard that, that's that person, because she just likes to know what's going on. And she's very upfront, she's very honest, she doesn't like to beat around the bush with anything, and she's unlike any other girl that Gareth has met before. And I really enjoyed her personality. And I actually think that the love interest in this book was a bit different from the other love interests. They all have some similarities. It's obvious that the author has like a type of men. And that's okay. I really enjoy that type, in these written stories as well. I like it. So that's not something negative, that's a positive, but it's just very obvious. But I felt that Gareth had some qualities of his own, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm looking forward to reading the last part in this series at some point. And I told my partner that I was almost finished with this, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna miss it so much when it's gone." And I was like, yeah, but I can read all of them again. Because I'm pretty sure that when I come to the end of the 8th part, I'm gonna not remember that much about the first one. I'm gonna be happy to read that again, because I've read these over the course of like 1 year and 6 months or something. All of these 8. If I read the 8th one in March, there will be like a 18-month period of reading all of them. So I will be ready to start over, and I will also finally be ready to watch the Netflix series, because of course I have waited to do that. So the last book I'm going to talk about is A House with Good Bones, and this is by Kingfisher, and I really enjoy Kingfisher. I have read 3 books by her previously. I have read a retelling, a short story, a retelling that I don't remember the title of it. But I started with reading that one to get a sample of the author, and I really liked the writing style. And this one did not disappoint. So this is the 4th book that I've read by her. The other 2 books are the books in the series that starts with the one What Stalks the Dead or something like that. And so this is A House with Good Bones, and in this book we follow Sam. Sam is a woman of 32 years, and she is a bug person. She literally works as an entomologist. I'm sure I'm butchering that. She is an archaeologist with her niche is that she, or speciality, is that she looks for the bugs in the site to help with, I assume, to help with like the age of the site and whatever. But so she knows bugs. And that is very useful in this book, because I think that if she didn't know bugs, I would have been a lot more scared in this book, because thanks to her level-headedness and her knowledge about the bugs creeping into this story, I was not creeped out as much as I would have been if she wouldn't have been the main character. So I really enjoyed that aspect, because I did not like when there were a lot of bugs coming. So that's like a content warning. A lot of bugs if you don't like bugs. So we follow Samantha, and she's visiting her mother, and when she comes to the house, everything is different. Like her mother has repainted, and instead of the art on the wall that her mother likes, she has put up old paintings with like a racist connotation that her grandmother used to have up when the house was hers. So Samantha is going into this and she's like, there's something weird, and my mother is very anxious, what is happening? And she, all the way through the book, she tries to use her logical mind to explain every weird thing that's happening, because there's a lot of weird things happening in this house, and there's a lot of vultures like black vultures circling above the house, sitting on the mailbox, keeping an eye out. And the first day she's there, she realizes there are no bugs in the garden. The garden is her grandmother's old roses that keeps on thriving even though no one tends to them. But there are no bugs. No ladybugs, no insects, no worms, no nothing. So she's like, this is weird. Who is using what to take care of these roses that kills all of the bugs? And she's trying to find that out. So this story is about Samantha trying to figure out why are there no bugs, and then also what's happening to my mom. Is she demented? Is she grieving her own mother 20 years later? Or is there something sinister going on? Does she have a stalker? And she tries to use her logical mind for this, but it doesn't really work all the way through. So I really enjoyed this book. I think I've said that a lot in this video, but I really, really enjoy this book. And she's definitely one of my new favorite authors. She is at the same level of Christina Henry for me when it comes to horror. I really enjoy fantasy horror. This didn't have as much fantasy that I would have maybe liked and that I thought there were in her other books, but I still enjoyed it. So a 4-star read for me. I have given her other books a higher rating than that. I think this was really good, but it wasn't my favorite. Yeah. I don't think I would read it again, but I would recommend it highly. So, those are the books that I have talked about in this video. So, one I have paused, and then I paused Jamie Rains's The T in LGBT. I gave 5 stars to the One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I gave 5 stars to the 7th book in the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. And I gave 4 stars to A House of Good Bones by Kingfisher. I'm just gonna see what the Bridgerton is called in English. It is called It's in His Kiss. Makes sense. Makes sense. In Swedish, if you translate the title from Swedish to English, it's An Unforgettable Kiss. So, actually one of the titles that have been more accurate to the original in this series so far. So, yeah. I'm really looking forward to doing my TBR game again. So, I think I have actually read all of the books or postponed one that was from my TBR game last time, and I'm looking forward to doing my TBR game again soon. So yeah, I will see you in my next video. I will see you maybe in your next video in the comment section. I try to keep myself up to date, but I have so many things to do. My life has kind of flipped. I have so much to do for the last couple of or 3 months, so I'm not as active on YouTube that I used to be, but I still read a lot. I don't read as much as I did before Christmas, but I do read a lot still. Yeah. So I will see you soon. Xingling!